These speakers are part of Focal's Utopia cinema lineup, and this room is packed with about $150,000 worth of them. Throw in the projector and the screen, and you're at about $250,000. So how does it sound? So I decided to brave my own social anxiety to find out for us. Audio Advice Live is a premier audiovisual show based in Raleigh, North Carolina, and along with many major brands showing off their most impressive surround sound systems, there were also dedicated audio listening rooms for people. And even if you're afraid of crowded elevators, everyone is in a really good mood here because they're all here for the audio. So how does this $250,000 home theater setup actually sound? Obviously, over YouTube, there's no way you can get a sense of the sound, but I have a good analogy to explain it. I have a soundbar at home by Klipsch, and while it sounds pretty good, a soundbar just doesn't have that many drivers to reproduce all the noise. It's kind of like this garden hose. When I have a very small opening with my thumb over it, yeah, all the water's coming out, but it's under high pressure and it's not very pleasant on my hand. Now take into account all of these Cinema Utopia speakers around the room with much bigger drivers. It's kind of like taking your thumb off the hose. It's much easier to pick up the distinct nuances in the lows, mids, and highs. Nothing gets lost by being overworked. But does it feel like it's worth $150,000?
Stand by, Matt! Come on, stand by! I've got it!
I'll be very honest, you could have a similar experience at your local theater, but then you'd also have to deal with people, sticky floors, and only watching the movies that are in their rotation. And by similar, I mean your local theater is usually pretty good, but not quite as pristinely focused or nuanced in the lows or the highs from the Utopia system. If you've ever heard of those surround sound numbers like 5.1 or 7.1, well, I had Focal run us through what they actually mean.
Well, we are running a 7.4.4, or technically a 7.4.0.4. So that first number is what we call our bed layer. So this is all the speakers at eye or ear level. So in this case here, across the front, we're going to have a left, a center, a right speaker. As we move to the back of the room, we have two side surrounds. And of course, way back here in the dark side of our room is that we also have two rear surrounds. And that gives us that number 7. 4 subwoofers. We have 2 in the rear and of course 2 in the front.
I see.
Now that third number, again, that's the one that everyone kind of forgets about, is our height channel. So normally if we had a number there, is that we would have something high up on the walls here in this particular case, or up in the front. And lastly is our Atmos channels, or our ceiling channels. So in this case here, 4. So we've got 2 up in the front and 2 in the rear.
So if you're feeling a little anxious by those numbers or the large price tag of that system, you could get this entire JBL Stage 2 speaker setup, which is a 5.1.2 system, for about $3,000. And notice I mentioned that .2, meaning it has Atmos. Instead of actually installing speakers in your ceiling, with this little timing switch in the back, they shoot sound off of the ceiling and into your ears. Now this does not sound nearly as good as actually having speakers up there, nor does this system compete with the previous one, but it's more accessible and it's very stylish looking. If you want to know what system really blew me away at this show, I will tell you. But first I need to give style points to the Devailet Astra here. This French-made integrated amplifier is overlaid with 23 karat gold leaf. It's a Class D amplifier in a tiny package, but it promises Class A performance, which from the audio that I heard, did quite well. But at $25,000 and no HDMI port, I'm not sure that this is for everybody. But the slick minimal look, smooth controls, and ribbed sides remind me of a Blade Runner film or a nice Art Deco piece you can put on your media console. Okay, so I did promise you Danny's best in show now. I normally don't praise soundbars, but this Kef Zio, as they call it, it really doesn't sound like a soundbar. It's a bar that's a speaker basically, but wow, this thing amazed me with its acapella performance. That's my face reacting to just how clear this thing sounded. I've got to say this $2,500 unit sounded a lot more like $10,000 to $15,000. Now to be fair, they did have a sub hooked up to this thing, but when I asked them how much was being crossed over into the sub from the acapella piece, they said pretty much none of it. The soundbar was doing all the work. Now I'm not going to blow smoke up your pants, but if I get to check this thing out at home and it sounds just as good, this may become one of the best soundbars I've ever heard. Now, there were many other great sounds that I heard at the show, including the Bowers & Wilkins 801 Abbey Road Special Edition speakers, which is solid milled metal underneath, by the way, the Focal Diva Mezza speakers, which you'll be able to change this felt out for different materials on eventually. These JTRs sounded quite good, by the way. And while I didn't listen to them for very long, a lot of people were coming out of the KLH room raving about these speakers, so it might be worth checking out on the next show. And I was delighted to find some beautiful wood Klipsch speakers.
This is a new finish as well on the Forte 4. This is called Red Oak, a little more modern take on a legendary speaker. The La Scala is a new launch. These are called the AL6, and we've updated a lot of the internals. So we have a horn-loaded top end with a new phase plug. This is a new horn, so it's actually a lot shorter than the previous one. It gives us a really large sound stage at all volume levels. And then down here is a horn-loaded 12-inch woofer.
Now, I walked over 2 days all around the hotel, and I was very tired at the end. But thankfully, they had this nice theater seat, which I want to show to you.
When you recline, now the trick is how do you hold your head?
This is the problem me and my mom always have.
There is a headrest button, and we've designed the headrest in a way, and you can adjust it depending on how far you've gone back so you can see your movie.
But that's not the only problem this chair fixes. Look at this.
Actually, that's genius.
If we had put it out here and we spun it, you'd have a real issue.
Oh yeah, you'd be toppling over, it'd be a mess. Like, all you
So
have
it's
to
pretty
do
well designed like
is
that.
just remind people, put it there, and you'll be good for the rest of the show.
That's exactly right. So you'll see it's a little sticky.
Yeah,
it's like a neoprene
got a little
top.
bit of grip.
This chair guarantees that you will not have a huge wet sopping mess because somebody knocked into your glass. They're not guaranteeing that, but less likely with this design. It also gives massages for those long Netflix binge sessions. So I sure hope you appreciated me getting out there and socializing with people so that you could learn more about surround sound and audio. Was there anything from this video that you particularly liked? Let me know. Also, have you ever shopped at Audio Advice? Because I actually didn't know about them before this show. And to be honest, I actually thought that it was like an advice line or something, or maybe it was like a live show of music because they do a concert every year. And at the show this year, it actually rained really hard. And so the people that were leaving couldn't leave because they were stuck in the rain. But in all seriousness, it's kind of a show designed to teach you about surround sound if you don't already know about it, and they held workshops, and it was pretty insightful. So anyways, if you made it to the end of this video, I am delighted that you are here with me. So leave a comment and you'll get a little Audio Advice star for being here. So I'll see you on the next show. See you later. Bye.